Okay, so I'm excited to talk to you guys tonight about what I would do if I had your customer base. And so, what this did for me was it took me back to when I was a brand new consultant, you know, setting up my date book, setting up my calendar, my busy family life, all to be able to work this business like a business so that I could quit my full time job. Now, I know that not everybody comes into Mary Kay to work full time as, or for it to be their career. That was my goal always, was to come home but minivan payment was all as far as I could see. I couldn't see any further. So what I would do if I had your customer base, all right, and at the end of the Zoom tonight, I'm going to give you some homework. I want you to tell your director how many customers you have. I want you to go through and look at all your customers, every person that you facialed. Okay, they should be on your, hang on just a second. Okay, Sylvia's coming in. So you go through your customer base and they should be in your PCP, okay? Because if I had your customer base, everybody that I facialed would be in my PCP. I take them out if they go a year or a year and a half without communicating with me, okay? They don't order, they don't, text, they don't respond. A year to a year and a half, okay? Now, but I still keep them in my customer base, so they still get emails, they still get texts. They may just not get a PCP book. But what I want you to do tonight or tomorrow is go through every customer that you've facialed, okay? Or that you met at a party. And I want you to divide them up into it's gonna be your hot list, A list, and a B list, okay? Your A list is your chicken list. And you're dissecting, what you're doing is you're dissecting your customer base. And I want you to look at all those people on that chicken list that you didn't book. Maybe you didn't even facial them, okay? It may just be people from your initial hot list that you have never facial, but you wanted them to secretly want to order from you, so you put them on the list, okay? Whatever. But I want you to build that chicken list, okay? The other list is your B list. That's your go-to list. These are people that you're not intimidated by them. They're you feel very comfortable calling them, texting them, asking them for a favor. It's your great Aunt Martha, whatever. So I want you to have that as your B list. So you're going to have that list, and I want you to text your director, and I want you to tell her how many people you have on each of those lists, okay? Then from that list, I also want to know on your referral sheet, if you're working the referrals, okay, if you have the referral sheet and you have a whole stack of them, I want to know, how many names you have. That's going to take a while, but I want to know how many referrals you have. And if you facial them, if you book them, mark them off. I need a total, okay? And we're going to go back to that in just a second. And then, hold on just a second. If you've worked a booth, a vendor opportunity that you had, I want to know how many leads you actually have, okay? And so what you're going to be doing is, this is what you work with. This is what you have to keep with you at all times, so that whenever you have those little, sporadic, time slots, like in the carpool line at school, at the, waiting on this, waiting on that. I know it's summer, so there's no carpool lines at school. You have it with you in your Mary Kay notebook at all times. Your prospect list, your A list, your B list, everybody that you need to book, all right? And then I want you to tell your director, because you're a business, when do you book? when is your booking day? So when I was a consultant, my booking day was Wednesday nights, Sunday afternoons. And then when I worked full time for those first 6 months, 2 times a week, I would go out to my car on my lunch break. I could eat my lunch in 8 minutes, and I would spend 52 minutes booking from all that information that I have, my leads, referrals, my hot list. Okay. I always had it with me. And so I always had 7 to 10 appointments on my date book. They were not always in the same month. Okay. I would book out 2 months. I had a 2-month window that I would book out, so that if I got a new referral or somebody called and wanted a facial, I wasn't too booked up. I could get somebody in. So it was a 2-month window that I would book, but I always, hear me, I always had 7 to 10. Now, some people have more. I could not work from more. I had a busy, my kids were athletic. I had a full-time job, but you have got to have a set time that you are booking. My goal, okay, hold on. Somebody's trying to get in. Hang on. Okay, Debbie's coming in. So my goal was to, what was my goal? Oh, my goal every month was to always do 30 new faces in 30 days. Always. Did I hit that? No. I did not hit 30 faces in 30 days until the month that I debuted as a new director, June 2002. I started my business January of 2001. So 1.5 years later, I finally hit 30 faces in 30 days. So I missed my goal every month. Sometimes I would do 15. Sometimes I would do 29. I literally got to 29 one time. And I was like, but it wasn't about the 30. It was about the activity that I was striving for. And that's that whole purpose of failing forward. I fell forward to success. I was missing my goal, but I ultimately became a sales director and earned a car by failing. I mean, I hope that you see the point that I'm trying to make is not about the no's. It's about the effort and the consistency that is put in every single week. Okay. So when you're working with your director, you're going to tell her what your work days are. You have to know that. So this is where your family comes in. So with our boys' schedule early on, I'm going back to my days as a consultant. We had Wednesday nights, we were at church. So I'll just tell you, in the beginning, until I came home, Wednesday nights we were at church. I didn't do too much booking on Wednesday nights. It was mainly Sunday afternoons. And then I did the time slots during my lunch breaks. Okay, that's very beginning. You do not have to chisel that into stone anywhere. It can be flexible. It changed with the seasons of my business. I always had to have a nighttime booking, and I had to have some point of a daytime booking. The reason was, when I did get home from corporate America, I was building a day business and I was building a night business. And I knew they were very, very different. They were different in what I sold to these women, and they were different with how long it took and when I would contact them. So the day business was the stay-at-home moms. They were all on a beauty budget. My nighttime business were my moms that were working moms. Okay. They had jobs, they had kids. they liked Thursday nights, okay, because they were starting to think about the weekend. They were a little bit more relaxed, and I had to contact them at night. They not only always could talk to me at work, the busy moms, the day moms, they could talk to me during nap time or whatever. And so I even had made sure that I kind of figured out when my kids were napping, when I finally got home, when my kids were napping, I thought well, every kid's napping now. And, because I knew what time Chick-fil-A cleared out, right? We were all there at Chick-fil-A with our kids playing, and it would clear out after lunch, and it would be like a ghost town. And I'm like, this is when I need to be booking, because the moms are home, the kids are, you just got to be present to the moment and really understand your surroundings and think about what are people doing right now at this time. If I call right now, I know now Facebook has all these algorithms or whatever that says, oh, people are on Facebook at this time. It's the same thing. I was doing it before Facebook, and I didn't get famous for it, but I was alert as to what was going on in my surroundings. I was going to say another thing. I forgot what my other thing was. Payday. I figured out when everybody's payday was. You go and you look at you track your reorders, and you see what time of the month you're getting the most reorders. It was Fridays. It was either every other Fridays, or it was the 15th and the 30th. And so if you're only doing 2 or 3 parties a month and you plan them around the paydays, my sales went up. That's Michelle's algorithms, or whatever it's called. You just have to be alert as to what's going on around you. And so knowing your booking days, knowing your what days you're going to be working when you are booking. If you're in Mary Kay right now and you do not have a set day that you book, this is why you are not where you want to be. Okay. If you had dreams of being a sales director, you had dreams of earning a car when you came into Mary Kay, you actually should have done that in your first year. You should not celebrate being in the same spot. You actually should be moving, okay? Because nobody's going to follow a parked car. And so you have to be so disciplined and so consistent. That is all this business is. It is not rocket science. It's about being disciplined, and it's about being disciplined. And what was the other thing I just said? Oh my gosh, discipline. I just said it. Consistent. All right. So like I said, I always kept 7 to 10 appointments on my date book in a 2-month span. So I kept some room open so that if I had some new faces, and they need to get with me, or I got a call, somebody need to see me, I had some time slots that I could work from. All right. I had a hot list. We talked about that. My hot list was A and B. A was all the people that intimidated me, and B was my go-to people. I had 2 different hostess plans. Okay. I had an aggressive hostess plan for the people that intimidated me. And I had just a regular hostess plan for the people that I know would help me. Not for them, but for me. I needed liquid courage. I know that's terrible to say, but I like to dance when I had liquid courage. I'm not a good dancer. I don't drink anymore, so I don't dance. I can't dance. But I needed what I call liquid courage for all those people that intimidated me. The reason they intimidated me was they had money, they were gorgeous, they had gorgeous friends, and they had friends with money. That makes a great Mary Kay party. And so I'll give you an example. I just booked 27 tennis moms and their daughters for a mother-daughter spa experience next Tuesday night. Guess how I got them here? Hold on, I'm going to show you. I'm giving away matching mother and daughter Michael Kors purses. Okay, that's the mom purse, and this is the daughter purse still in the bag. Okay, look how cute that is. So I have met 27 new moms in all the tennis teams that Mary Beth plays on, Hudson plays on, and it's tennis, and they're new. And I've gotten to know them through the tennis world, but when my two worlds collide, that's my weakness. I have a weakness, and I had to have an aggressive hostess plan. So we're going to raffle off mother-daughter Michael Kors purses. I'm going to give you the numbers of the odds of how many people RSVP for this, so that you always know what your numbers are, so you're never ever disappointed, because it's not magical, it's mathematical. Okay, we're gonna talk about my numbers in just a second. So if you're working from your lead sheet, you're going to add up all your leads. I want you to tell your director how many leads you have. Here's the deal with those leads and the referral sheets. Most bookings come from your fourth and fifth point of, actually your fifth and sixth point of contact. I've never gotten to my fifth and sixth point of contact because I would get so booked up. I usually get booked up in my first and second point of contact. Okay, and so you've got to keep working those leads until they say stop. You know, if they say stop, scratch them off. Okay, move on. If you booked them and you've worked that lead, scratch that off. But the rest of them, keep working the lead. Okay, you've got, I know I've done some parties with many of you. You have lead sheets, so those are potential bookings. You've got to fight for those consistent bookings every single week. That's how you get consistent. That's how you move forward. Okay, because this business is going to pay you a lot of money, but it's up to you to be consistent. Okay, there's absolutely no reason you cannot, there's no reason that you should say, I can't afford to go to seminar. You guys know I don't like to hear that, because you have a business, you've got plenty of time to go make a lot of money before we fly out of here August 2nd. You got plenty of time, but it's about how bad do you want it? Because when you get in front of those people at seminar that are the best of the best, you know, are you afraid that they're going to make you want more and make you step out of your comfort zone? You better bet your panties they are. So yeah, you better be scared. But let me just tell you, there is amazing things waiting for you outside of your comfort zone. And when you finally get out of that comfort zone, it's gonna blow your doors off. Okay. And so this plan of you working, you being a good boss, I want you to be a good boss to yourself. Okay. If you don't have a day that you book and you don't have a day that you work, you're a terrible boss, because you're not making yourself go do what you need to be doing. If you're a better employee to someone else, then shame on you, because you would have paid yourself way more than they're paying you right now. And so that's what I'm challenging you to do right now, is rise up and go do something big this new seminar year. For many of you, the train's already left the station for this seminar year. And that's okay, because what I want you to do right now is to get inspired to kick it into fifth gear and cross that finish line doing 90 miles an hour, so that July 1, and by the time we get to beach retreat, because I'm going to tell you, this new beach retreat that we're going to be attending is going to make you, if you're sitting in the same spot that you're in right now, you're going to be so upset with yourself, because you're going to look around and say, wow, these women are really making things happen. Why didn't I do that? Okay. And so let's get back to my notes here. So that's what I'm inspiring you. I'm inspiring you that right now you're going to change some things. You're going to be a good boss. Okay. And every week I want you to ask yourself, would I rehire myself Sunday night based on what I did last week? And if you say no, then you get a do-over. Okay. Monday morning is your do-over. Tomorrow morning is your do-over. Okay. All right. So here we go. Now, know your office hours. You got to have some office hours, but you don't. So I'll tell you, here's the formula that we're taught as sales directors. Our office hours is 1 hour for every 10 consultants. That's all the office hours I have to put in. So I have 130 consultants, not counting my area. okay? Because Marianne's taking care of her team, Trinity's taking care of her team, Jennifer's taking care of her team, Kirsten's taking care of her team, okay? But I have 130. So I put in 13 hours. Not really, because I hired a virtual assistant. So I don't even put in 13 hours. But the hours that I do put in, I'm talking to you guys. I am booking my own personal appointments, okay? It's not like I don't do all the computer stuff. That's what my virtual assistant does. I'm the toe-to-toe, belly-to-belly girl with you guys, building those relationships because we're all family, okay? That's where I spend my time. All right, so with a customer base, I would say you might need to put in 2 to 3 hours with a customer base under 50. Okay. With a customer base of 100 plus, maybe 5 hours. Okay. So this would be phone time, booking, not booking. This would be prepping for your appointments, stocking your shelves, sending out thank you cards, doing your e-cards, all the office stuff. Okay. But that's all for the whole month, 2 to 3, 2 to 5. I think it's going to be plenty because I've given you the skill of how to keep your bags packed at all times. Okay. So that you just grab it and go. Yesterday, I did a party for Debbie. I ran out, grabbed my bag, put it in the car. It was in the garage. Okay. I didn't have to do anything. Granted, I will be honest, Debbie and I, we were doing a glamour party and we didn't have any mascara wands. So that's 2 blondes for you. So I should have restocked my mascara wands, but normally I have plenty of mascara wands. All right, so here we go. So your office hours, know your office hours. I suggest, okay, Sunday before this call. I also want you to start sending me your weekly sales on Sunday nights. You actually should be doing those. If there's a place on InTouch, it's called income producing. It's called, not IPAs. It's your weekly accomplishment sheet. And it's on InTouch. It's under business tools. You can go in there and put your sales and it comes to me. And that's all you have to do. You actually should do that every Sunday night before we get started so that we can grow. All right. So let's move on. During this office time, you can be doing your searches, your Google searches for vendor activity, craft fairs, baby expos, bridal fairs, anything that, Main Street events, anything where you're able to have a booth, if that is how you are growing your business. Okay. All right. So also during that time is where you're going to be working from a prospect list. So I want you to build a prospect list. So you're building your A list, your B list, you got your referral sheets. From there, if you had to hand pick team members and they look like directors, I want to know your prospect list because we're going to send them a video to watch. And if they do a Q&A with us, I'm going to give them a free lipstick, a free mascara, or a free lip gloss. You cannot build a team without sharing the opportunity. That's why some of you do not have anybody active. And here's what I'm going to say right now, and it's recorded. There's a consultant that said, I'm not going to build a team anymore because nobody works. I also know that she's a Christian. And here's what I'm going to say to her. How many times have you shared Jesus with somebody and they didn't receive it? Did you stop? No, you didn't. So this business is like you digging in a haystack for a needle. You just got to keep digging through more haystacks. You cannot decide on, you've got to just plant the seeds. You have to trust God to cultivate, water, fertilize the soil for you to have a harvest. But you are the seed planter, okay? You are the seed planter, and you have to do that. This business is never going to change. No's are always going to be a part of this. It's the nature of the beast. It is never going to change. But if you have a problem with hearing no, You've got to go work on getting 100 no's. You have to get some tough skin. No means next, okay? You don't get here without no. I am right here because I have heard more no's than you. And I'm still here. Marianne is where she is because she's heard more no's than you. You have to get to the no's. No's get you to the yeses, okay? And so that's just how it is. All right, so let's go move on. Your success is not tied to your new recruit either, or your potential recruit. Do not think, and I've said this a million times, I know it's on a million videos that I've done. Where you are is not an indication of what you can be doing, okay? Their success or failure is not tied to you. If that was the case, I would not be here, and neither would any of you. My recruiter quit, okay? She quit. And so her success and failure was not tied to me. It is, you just, swim in your lane, baby. That's all I can say. All right, hang on. Let's see how we're doing on time. Okay, this is good stuff. So I'm going to go over, and if you got to hang up, it's recorded. But this is important. You have to pay your dues. You have to pay your dues. I paid my dues. I'm paying my dues still. Marianne's paying her dues. Okay, your attitude is everything. I cannot tell you. You've got to fix you. We've talked about that before. Even a few weeks ago, we talked about that. When I did I purposely did the Zoom in my big room so you could see my bookshelves with all the books that I read to fix me. All right. I want to tell you a story. Okay. And this is about two 4-year-old little boys. There was a study done. They put each of them in a different room with a pile of manure. Okay. One little boy walks in there. He's like, "What is this? I thought you said there would be toys in here. Where are the toys? All I see is a pile of horse poop. What is this?" And he's complaining. "I don't see any toys. This is no fun. I want to get out of here. How long do I have to stay in here? Woe is me." Complain. Meanwhile, the other little boy walks in, sees the horse poop in the middle of the room, goes over there and starts digging. And he's all excited. And he's like, "With all this horse poop, there's got to be a pony in here somewhere." All right, you see my point. You have to have a great attitude. Whatever you've been given, it was not in vain. You have to keep going, and you got to keep digging through the hay stacks to find the needle. Okay. All right. Now, so I had another story too. So we talked about your family being on board. I wanted to stay on my chart so that I wouldn't get off. I do get off. So your family's got to be on board. One thing I'm telling you that Andy did was, I had my meetings on Monday nights. That's where we used to go to real meetings. We'd have recognition, we'd have training, whatever. Andy always cooked on Monday nights. Missing Monday night was never an option. Years and years, okay, of going to my meeting on Monday nights. Now we have Zoom. So congratulations for those of you who are here every single Sunday night. Congratulations. I want you to have that same consistency with holding appointments and getting toe to toe, belly to belly with the people that you have been given so far, that you have built, and you want to build on that relationship. Okay, keep it going. If you are not getting reorders from the people that you have facialed in the past, I can pretty much tell you it's because you don't do your PCP consistently. You have to keep yourself in front of them. Okay. All right. Scipio is one of them. If you have not got the free Scipio so that you can contact everybody, Tammy has done a fantastic job training on that before. You have got to get Scipio. You are a business. Guys, stay in connection with your people. They forget your name. They forget your face. Send something out. Do my favorite thing idea that I do every single month. I send it to you for a reason so that you can copy, paste, and do it to your customers. Y'all, a minute after I sent my last one out the other day, a customer that I had not heard from in years texted me, said, how much is all that? Text her back, said it's $446. Boom, just like that. It works. You throw enough spaghetti on the wall, eventually something is going to stick. All right. Like I said, Andy always cooked on Monday nights, and I used to work on Thursday nights. Text your director how many people you have on your PCP list, how many referral sheets you have, and how many lead sheets you have if you've done a booth lately, and create 2 hostess plans, one for your A list and one for your B list. If you need help, talk to your director. Your A list is your chicken list. That hostess plan is going to be a little bit more aggressive. Think about what would you cook and clean for to get you excited. You guys have heard me say this. You have to, I used to have to create a new hostess plan every 6 months because I'd have to be excited. It worked, guys, because I always had bookings. I never not worked. I always paid myself. I have always paid myself. And since 2006, I have paid myself $5,000 a month or more. No less. No less. Can't afford less. Since 2006. From 2002, or actually 2003 to 2006, I paid myself $3,500 a month. And starting in July of 2002, I paid myself $1,500. Okay. And then I was still doing about $1,200 before then. That was what I paid myself. Those were my increases. There was a time when all 5 kids were in school that I had to pay myself $7,000 a month. I don't want to remember those times. That was very stressful. I was in a Cadillac, so it was coming. But, it's self-employed. When you're self-employed and your family's depending on you, it was 5 kids in private school. That was no joke. That's 6 years. 6 years of paying. And there was 5. But the year that Ryan graduated, I thought, oh, that amount's going to come off. They had a price increase. And the price increase for all 5 was the same as 6, $10 difference. I just wanted to cry. I literally almost sat in my car and cried. But then Riley graduated the next year. But you guys, this business is real. It works if you do. Consistency and discipline. Okay. All right. Now, I wanted to tell you from the 25 new moms that I text the picture. We're going to have dinner. We're going to have a makeover. I'm going to give away the mother-daughter Michael Kors purses. And from the 27, here's the feedback that I have so far. I have 5 that have RSVP'd. I have 2 that said, fun, love it. So I don't know what that means. I'm going to say that means a yes. Okay, so that's 7. That would be a third. Okay, remember a third. It's always a third. 6 were out of town, but they did text me back and say, oh my gosh, I would love this, but I'm going to be out of town. Some of them said, if you do it on this week, I can come. So guess what? I'm going to book her to have her own. And then 14 have not responded yet. So let's say I got 14 no's from people that I do tennis with. I am okay. I've got 5 yeses, 2 maybes, that would be a maybe, and 6 that were out of town that I'm going to book for more. That is my chicken list, and I am thrilled. So it's a third, okay? So there we go. Marianne, would you like to share anything?
Just a couple things. For those of you who I am new to you, I am one of Michelle's Offspring Sales Directors. This month, I am celebrating my 9th year in business and my 8th year as a sales director and 8 years of working from home, working full time. And I too now have 5 kids. That's not a requirement for being a school. We're going to keep saying that as every time we get new people. We just need y'all to know it's not a requirement, but careful who your friends are. No, I'm just kidding. But I love, you were talking about rehiring yourself and paying your dues. And one of my favorite quotes from Darren Hardy, I listen to his podcast every day. Okay. Almost every day. But it's one time he said, success is never owned. It's rented. And the rent is due every day. And so that reminded me, because, he also says that the enemy of success is success. And so I know how it is, like when you get 14 and you're like, yes, and you go like spinning in your chair, and then like a week goes by and 2 weeks go by and you're like, man, that was so amazing. And then you look and you're like, I haven't booked in 2 weeks. And so that's the way it means to say, success is the enemy of success. You like celebrate way too long. The journey is in getting there and doing the booking and the consistency that she's talking about. So having that daily booking time, yes, so that way you're not hanging on that celebrations, because I love celebrations. Okay. But yeah, so I love that if you remember that my rent is due every day for success. My 10 booking calls are due every day. My 20 booking calls are due every day, or whatever your work day is, So if it's 3 days a week, your success rent is due 3 days a week. So those are the main things. And last thing about just a tiny, tiny little note, when you have your customers in My Customers and you've decided, hey, they haven't talked to me in a year and a half, it's time to pull them off PCP. You can archive them from the app. So that way they're not showing up on your list. The only way to actually delete a customer, which I don't do very often, you have to go on the desktop version and actually hit delete. Sometimes I have issues with Skipio re-pulling up my customers that say, don't contact me. And so I don't know what that's all about. I just keep apologizing.
Even apologize, like wrinkles to you.
There's that too. So that's all for me. Thank you guys. This was so great. It took like 3 pages of notes.
Awesome. All right, guys. All right. So we're a little late. So we'll talk more on Voxer about our beach retreat. It's in October, but don't give up on going to seminar yet. Seminar is staring us right in the face. I think it's going to be epic because we've been away for so long, and don't miss it. Don't miss it. Take your business seriously. Okay. All right. This is recorded.
Hey guys.
Everybody.
Hey guys, I want to tell y'all something funny. One of my customers called me today and she said, I got a Mary Kay story for you. I said, what did you do? She said, well, you know how I get up in the mornings and I'm still half asleep. And the first thing I do is I go in and I cleanse my face and brush my teeth. And that's all I do before I go in and go to work. And she said, I was brushing my teeth and I thought, well, this tastes different. And she looked down and it was the cleanser, Mary Kay cleanser. I said, well, did it taste good? He said, well, it wasn't bad.
Okay.
We're all going to go teach your cleansers. You are.
Yeah. So Debbie, you have to tell her this. If she called Poison Control, here's what they would say. They would ask her the brand. She would tell them it's Mary Kay, and here's what they're going to say. Oh, you don't have to worry. Mary Kay's almost all natural. That's happened before. One of my friends' kids ate her creams, her cleanser, and she called Poison Control, and that's exactly what they told her. He'll be fine. It's Mary Kay. It's almost all natural.
Oh, she said she was fine. She said, I laughed about it.
I've almost done that before because my cleanser's right beside my toothpaste too.
Courtney's kids, one of them likes to eat the oil mattifier and the foundation primer. And of course the sugar scrub, because it tastes like sugar.
Yeah.
And the lip balm.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Crazy.
Oh.
All right.
Also, the charcoal mask is good to wash Siamese Himalayan point cats. Makes that coat really soft.
And you found out.
I don't even want to know how you know about that.
Krista's daughter did it 2.5 years ago.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.